Welcome to One-on-One, the Daily Items weekly digital program featuring Susquehanna Valley newsmakers interviewed by Daily Item reporters. Today's guest is Frank Rodriguez of Against the Grain Barbershop in Milton, interviewed by reporter Eric Scicchitano.
You've heard of Sunday Fun Day? Well, Sunbury Motors Hyundai thinks you should have a fun day every day. If you want to have a fun day, you have to drive a Hyundai. From Sunbury Motors Hyundai. Sunbury Motors Hyundai has 17 2017 new Hyundais that must go before July. Sunbury Motors Hyundai has 6 2017 Hyundai Elantra Limiteds with savings over $6,000. $6,000 off an Elantra Limited is huge. Sunbury Motors Hyundai has 2017 Hyundai Sonatas with savings up to $6,144, starting at $18,666. Every Hyundai comes with America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and Hyundai Assurance. If an SUV is more on your mind, 2017 Santa Fe Sports start at $22,576, with savings on Santa Fe's now up to $51,999. If you're looking for a new vehicle with huge discounts and a fun day every day, now is the time to visit Sunbury Motors Hyundai in the North 4th Street Auto Plaza, Sunbury.
Welcome to One-on-One, the Daily Items weekly digital program. I'm Eric Scicchitano, and our guest today is Frank Rodriguez, owner of Against the Grain Barbershop in Milton and founder of Morals Over Money. Frank, thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
So, what is Morals Over Money, and when did it begin?
Morals Over Money is an idea or concept that I came up with in 2016. I had just started getting my life on track and realizing that a lot of times I had got so caught up in making money and doing stuff like that I would compromise my morals. And so I decided, well, maybe it's time to reverse things a little bit, and decided to put my morals before anything else. And, it's worked out well for me.
You allowed us to come with your group to Kensington recently, and we featured you in a story. It's seen as ground zero for so many people when it comes to the addiction crisis here in the state. You guys gave away free haircuts, free food, but when we were down talking that day, you told me the most important thing was the interaction, the conversation. Why is that?
For me, I feel like so many of them, myself included, when I was struggling with addiction and stuff, that I felt like I was completely overlooked, and especially with the people in that neighborhood. Everybody that is there, first of all, isn't struggling with addiction. There's people there that's struggling with mental illness, just being homeless. And they're looked as nuisances or pests. And, they get talked down to a lot in the neighborhood. So just to let them know, that we see them, and a lot of us have been in their shoes, So for me, it's just a simple conversation, I think, that they can appreciate.
And it humanizes the situation, right?
Yeah, absolutely it does. Just to let them know, we don't look down on you, you're not a pest to us. And just for that day, for those couple hours that we're there with them, just to let them know that they're cared about and, we're there with them. I
was really impressed with how everyone was just so casual about the interaction. Nobody was really sermonizing to these people or being forceful. It was very casual and very respectful. I think it allowed for an air of dignity about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, for myself, I always look at it like, when we get there, we don't really have to preach to them or tell them this or tell them that. Our actions will show. You know what I mean? Whatever we're doing, our actions will show. I always think of it like with my kids also. They don't want to hear me preach a sermon. They want to see me live a sermon. So when we go down there and they see the type of stuff we do and the interactions we have and the compassion that we have for them, I think that speaks louder than anything we could say verbally.
We could sit here and talk for hours about all the negativity that we see and witness down there in just the few hours that we were there. But you saw some familiar faces there who kind of are turning things around. At least for the time being.
Yep, absolutely. And it was awesome to see that, to see people that are getting their life back together. I know, like everybody sort of loves a underdog story, and it's nice to see them be able to get their stuff together and, who knows how long it's going to last. It might not last that long, but at least for right now, they realize they have hope, and also to realize that they're worth better than, the stuff sometimes we subject ourselves to.
And of course, you're a barber by trade. The haircut and the beard trim, the haircut for women too. I mean, you're cutting women's hair down there as well.
Yeah.
Cleaning them up a little bit. You could just in just a moment. They allow themselves to smile. They allow themselves to feel good about themselves. At least that's what I witnessed.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of them down there are in relationships too. They're codependent and have their boyfriend or their husband or their significant other with them. And I think for them to, especially for the ladies, it's a big deal. For their boyfriend or husband or whoever it might be to see their girlfriend, get cleaned up a little bit, it makes the women feel special, and they like that.
You told me the reason why you choose Kensington is from your own past. Can you tell us a little bit about why we ended up there?
Yeah, absolutely. I used to live in Philadelphia, and I used to go to Kensington to look for dope. I used to sell drugs in that area also. So for me, I absolutely knew how desperate the need is there for help and hope. And I also wanted to go back and do something positive in a community that I helped tear down, maybe just to try to build it up for a little while.
Do you see any similarities down there to, when you're talking to people up here or doing a little bit of local outreach? Do you see any similarities?
Sometimes I do. It's completely different there, though. It's a completely different world.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
To see it all.
Yeah, and what we got to experience on Sunday was a cleaned up version of that. It's a whole different place there. It's the biggest open air heroin market, in the United States. And it's not a good place, It's not a good place, but the people there deserve, to be helped and looked after, just let them know that people are caring.
Absolutely. We'll be back with more of One on One.
You've heard of Sunday Fun Day? Well, Sunbury Motors Hyundai thinks you should have a fun day every day. If you want to have a fun day, you have to drive a Hyundai. From Sunbury Motors Hyundai. Sunbury Motors Hyundai has 17 2017 new Hyundais that must go before July. Sunbury Motors Hyundai has 6 2017 Hyundai Elantra Limiteds with savings over $6,000. $6,000 off an Elantra Limited is huge. Sunbury Motors Hyundai has 2017 Hyundai Sonatas with savings up to $6,144, starting at $18,666. Every Hyundai comes with America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and Hyundai Assurance. If an SUV is more on your mind, 2017 Santa Fe Sports start at $22,576, with savings on Santa Fe's now up to $51,999. If you're looking for a new vehicle with huge discounts and a fun day every day, now is the time to visit Sunbury Motors Hyundai in the North 4th Street Auto Plaza, Sunbury.
Welcome back. We're here with Frank Rodriguez, owner of Against the Grain Barbershop in Milton and founder of Morals Over Money. Frank, you've already touched on it a little bit. How has your own life experiences inspired the mission of Morals Over Money?
I think it has every single thing to do with it. Myself, I have a troubled past. I grew up poor. I was addicted to drugs myself. I spent 17 years in prison. And so many times people didn't just overlook me and forget about me and just count me out. People had faith in me. And that is what makes me want to go. And, everybody I believe deserves a second chance. And some of us, third and fourth chances. And just to let people know that there's hope and to share my story a lot with them and to let them know, look, not too long ago I was in your same exact situation. And in 2.5 short years, I've been able to do some good things, thanks to God.
I think you have, and you say about sharing your story. You do it often. You're teamed up with Brian Carey of DJ Choices, and you're telling your story at high schools around the state, correct?
Yes, I go to usually about 3 or 4 high schools a week to share my story with young kids and try to warn them. I try to tell them I'm not here to preach to you, I'm not here to lecture you, I'm just going to tell you what happened to me and the results that I got, and hopefully you can take something away from it and learn from it and it's been a blessed experience to be able to do that. And the feedback from them is awesome.
What are they telling you afterward? I see you're taking a lot of photos with kids. What are they telling you when they interact?
Yeah, a lot of them are saying how they can relate to my story. A lot of them grew up in broken homes, might have parents that are drug addicts, might have friends that are drug addicts. A lot of them have experienced overdoses in their family. It's not uncommon to have a group of 5 or 6 kids come up after the show that are sort of lingering after the pictures and we meet and everything, and they just start crying because they can relate to things that have been going on. And even messages on social media and stuff that I receive from them it's awesome. It's good.
And Morals Over Money, the mission, it's incorporated into the barbershop as well. It's incorporated into Against the Grain. Yep. The guys that you hire, you require them to participate, or if they don't want to, they're not really the right fit, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a barbershop, but I don't care if you can cut hair. If you're the best barber in the world or the worst barber, that doesn't matter. One of the first things I let them know is all the type of work we do, the outreach, the giving back to the community. And I let them know that this is going to happen, especially in the summer when the weather's nice and we're able to do more stuff. I said this is going to happen on a monthly basis, one time. It's one day out of the week. And if I see that there's a little hesitation or anything, then instantly I know it's not a right fit. I want individuals that we all share the same common goal and the same passion for helping others.
Tell me a little bit about what some of those missions are locally. We talked about the trip to Kensington, but you do a lot here in the Milton and Sunbury areas.
Yeah, I do. For instance, Christmas, we had Christmas presents for the communities. We fed them. We had a whole bunch of stuff going on in the barbershop for the kids. We also, last year, we rented out the Milton pool and the Sunbury pool, had big picnics, kickball tournaments. In Sunbury, we gave out school supplies to the kids. We've done that last year. We're going to do it again this year. We did back to school haircuts for kids who their parents might not be able to afford it, and whatever it might be. For me, it's extremely important to give back.
Has there been a moment in doing all this community outreach that it really struck you like this? Wow, this is why we do it. This is what makes this important.
Yeah, I think every time we do something, there's one of those moments that I have. It's when you get a young kid. About 2 weeks ago, I had a young kid come into the barbershop, and he asked me, he said, "Could I speak to you?" I said, "Yeah." So I tried to speak to him. He said, "No, could we speak in private?" So we stepped out front of the barbershop, and this was a young man, about 17 years old. He broke down and started crying. And he's like, "Thank you for everything that you guys do for the community. You always make us feel welcome." The young guys come in the shop, and they'll just hang out. They'll play video games and stuff. And he's like, "You don't never run us out of here. It's just a good thing." And they have individuals to look up to, but most importantly, individuals that look like them and come from the same background as them to look up to.
So what's next?
Up next is we're going to be renting out the Milton community pool. We're going to have a basketball tournament. We're going to have a big cookout, and have just a good community day. And then after that, we'll be heading back to Philly sometime next month to do some more work out there with the homeless and the people afflicted by drug addiction, mental illness and stuff like that.
You have a pretty heavy presence on social media. Where can people find out more information about these initiatives and, the specific dates for some of this stuff?
Yes. On Instagram, it's at KingFrank_, and on Facebook, it's Against the Grain Barbershop is the barbershop page, and then my personal page is The Real Frank Rodriguez.
Frank, thank you so much, and thank you all for watching.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for watching One on One. We hope you will join us this coming Thursday at noon for a new installment.